Good morning. Happy February 1st. We're back to working on more flood-related items. Today, we're going to take a break from the house and I'll give you a little tour of it. But in the meantime, I'm working on a Briggs & Stratton 1150 series engine. Now, before we actually had the flood, we were using this wood chipper and it suddenly seized up. So I ordered some parts for it, and it turned out after some checking that this cam timing gear actually melted and seized to the case. So I ordered some new parts, and interestingly enough, it seems that Briggs & Stratton actually agrees with me because they switched to a metal cam timing gear. However, they did not note when I got this that the original has a molded key on it, while the new one, as durable as it is, does not have a molded key. So I called Briggs & Stratton. They could not tell me what piece I needed, and they couldn't give me the number to any service people because they are not allowed to provide that kind of information. I have to do that myself. So I'm going to be doing some Googling and trying to figure out what part that I need. In addition, I had ordered some new blades for it. I got a new main chipper blade. I also ordered some new tines. If you'll notice, these are not new tines because they didn't ship me any tines. So they sent me a blade, a gasket, and a new timing gear. It did not note on the timing gear, however, that it was actually a different style of gear, and in the diagram it does not show a key for it. So I'm going to have to hunt that down. That was going to be my project for today, and since I'm not able to do that, I'll go back to more cleaning up. And as you can see, time waits for no person. The lawn is slowly attacking the lawnmower. Apparently seeds got in the wheels, and so the lawnmower is actually growing lawn on it. This lawnmower right over here, actually, my neighbor gave to me, and this is its second flood that it's been through. So we'll have to see how that goes. But in the meantime, this wood chipper is going to have to hang out and do something else. Out here in the garage, I'm hoping today to get around to cutting maybe a foot off the bottom of the drywall. The puddles have all dried up in here finally, but you can still smell that molded smell. I sprayed some mold spray in here to kill that, but without opening the wall a little bit, there's no way to know. As far as the house, it's been drywall, drywall, drywall. And we'll start in the garage here. I took about a foot or two, about a foot off the bottom of the wall here. And this is actually where, from the last flood, they put new drywall. This time it rose up higher though, so I'd like to take more off. My main point here was just to dry up the wall and be able to spray some more anti-mold spray in here. Even places where there wasn't any mold, the cockroaches had just grown up inside there. So I was pleasantly surprised to find clumps of dead and live cockroaches feasting on themselves. So right now the fans are off just so you can hear me, but in here still needs plenty of cleaning up, sweeping up, things like that. I've just been busy making trips to the dump and throwing things into the dumpster. Back down here, I sprayed mold, anti-mold stuff all the way around. And you can see that the mold came up. That's about almost 2 feet right here, but the cut is 2 feet. underneath the windows is where I found the highest mold, or in joints where more than one piece of wood is. It sandwiches the mold right in between there. And the cockroaches were enjoying themselves up underneath in the insulation. The smell has kind of subsided from here, this room, but it's been really helpful that I cut through multiple walls, so it's been able to vent. Places that I'm not or haven't gotten to yet are more behind the cabinets. Yesterday, which was January 31st, I pulled some wall out from behind of the stove, and it was still wet back there. So I have to believe that it's probably wet back behind here too, where the cabinets are. In the closets, of course, where the air wasn't great, it seemed like there was more mold than in other places. But between big rooms and where there was no insulation, the mold stayed pretty low, maybe only a foot or two, maybe like a foot. But randomly, there were places where the mold, even in the areas where it was just a foot, the mold just grew up in one random place. And you never really know that until you cut into the wall. So I made sure to try to cut into the wall at the 2-foot point everywhere. And even this insulation I'm going to end up taking out. I just didn't want it touching the floor. This is the boys' room. Just the crawl space under the house. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten underneath there yet, so I don't know how it looks underneath the house yet. There was a brick of all kinds of mud and junk down there. I just didn't want to crawl in there just yet. Annika's room is the last room that I actually cut the wall out of, and in the closet, I didn't get to that yet. I was lucky enough to get 3 loads of debris to the dump, but each time that took about an hour or so just to drop it off, so it was a whole day affair. This is the back side of Annika's closet. I sprayed here with the anti-mold stuff. You can kind of see a little bit of a line here, but the real big thing about it is it's soft drywall, so it's absorbed into the drywall. So even though the paper on the outside looks dry, once I poke at it, touch at it, it turns out that it's usually pretty soft. So I still have to break that stuff off. One thing that I found that was kind of interesting is in some places, I'm trying to learn one right now. Oh, here we go. That behind the drywall, of course, on the walls, the perimeter walls, was insulation. Well, behind the insulation, where there's stucco on the outside of the wall and the stucco meets the brick, not all of the brick meets the stucco or has flashing that covers it. So you can actually get inside dirt and wetness and all kinds of stuff coming from the outside into the inside insulation. I was not aware that the sheetrock did not go all the way to the bottom of the house. The brick actually is the wall outside. This is our closet, and I didn't do the wall here yet, but I did take it out in the hallway so you can see the back side of it. I tried to make sure that if I didn't take out both sides, at least one side, I got out. So even underneath the sink, the wall back here, that was still wet. So I don't have to tell you that anywhere where